Welcome to the webinar. My name is Jason Ciment. My company is called Get Visible. Our company helps healthcare organizations and professional service organizations and retailers to get more exposure online. This webinar is going to describe 3 different channels through which you can become your own digital marketing team. And let's get going. So the first thing to understand as we get started is that Google rankings are so critical to get to the top of the first page. So that the idea is that used to be 22 times as many people would click on the first 3 listings of a Google result rather than any other listing on the page. And now you can see at this chart, it shows you that the majority of traffic occurs on the first page of results. So therefore, if search engine optimization is relevant to your business, then you want to focus on it and do it right. So what I want to present to you is a plan with 3 different areas of attack. One will be website conversion, one will be search engine optimization, and one will be what I call shameless self-promotion, but it's just a reference to social media marketing. So let's get going. The first step is to understand how important your website conversions can be. And here are 6 techniques that we're going to cover for your healthcare organization. The first one is what I call the navigation menu item that most companies miss. And here, if you look at the Hills Treatment Center, they have, I highlighted 4 different areas that they're personalizing the navigation so that you know if you're a man and you're having a problem where you need rehab, they've got a program for you. Same thing for women, same thing for executives, same things for families. The idea being that clearly the Hills is a treatment center for rehab. What's not clear is who do they specialize in. They could be for adults, they could be for kids, they could be for married people. So here what they're doing is they're going the extra mile, just like a law firm might and say, I'm a divorce lawyer, but maybe I specialize in people that are over 50. So to the extent that you can talk about who you specialize in working with, that makes a huge difference in website conversions. So that's the first of the 6 tests within website conversion, that you should have a menu item that talks to the audience that you're targeting. The second thing is, don't just put your phone number up on the top, actually add what's called a call to action. So here it says get addiction treatment now, next to the phone number. So whatever it is that you're trying to get them to call you for, try to put something. It could be a free consultation, a free review, talk to a specialist. You can be even more targeted, get addiction treatment now. Don't just put a phone number up. Take advantage of the ability to connect on a deeper level. Number 3 is don't put your email address on your website. What you want to do is use a form so that you can collect the data, put it in a database, and then put it into a CRM, customer relationship manager system. And the other thing is if you use a form, you can use options like reasons for your visit in order to actually avoid dealing with people that you don't want to work with. So you're getting an information in advance, or they can even, if you use a drop-down or radio buttons, you can give choices for why you're making an appointment. And if they don't see the reason listed, then they won't fill it out and you didn't waste a lead. So that's number 3. Number 4 is using case studies for credibility. Yes, it takes a lot of time to write these things, but they're extremely valuable in establishing your authority as a leader in the industry that you're in. So here, I'm just showing you some examples of different case studies for different uses within the healthcare. So case studies are super important. One of the ways you can cheat on a case study is, first of all, get a client to write it or to do an interview of a client. And then one of the benefits is when you release the case study, the client can go ahead and syndicate that case study to their own user base, giving you further reach than you expected. The other type of case study you can do to economize your time and your money is invite 3 people to be part of like a panel and get their opinions on a circumstance. So that gives you ability to use their opinions for content inside the case study. So you can have a smaller case study and devote more attention like CNN does to have a panel of experts. And of course, when you have more experts, they can each get a copy of the case study and a link to it and syndicate it and spread it to their own networks. Okay, number 5 is you need trust signals to show that you're an authentic provider, a leader in the industry, someone that is involved in the community. So here's an example showing how this rehab center is a member of different organizations. Very simple on a website to get these logos on there. The last thing is introduce people to your team. You're in a service business as a healthcare organization. You're not an institution as much as you're locally connected to people that may be within driving distance, or if people are flying in, they want to know who it is that we're meeting with, who's going to take care of their child if it's dealing with teens. And so here's an opportunity to make a more personal approach. Okay, here's a bonus for the heat map visitor analysis. You can use a program that you can get online that will put a little script on every web page, and it'll measure where people are moving their mouse, what pages they're clicking on, and where they're hovering their mouse, for example. So when you see a bright red spot, that means that they are focused on that area of the page. And you can see that the video is one of the strongest parts of this page. So heat map analysis is a great way to see which parts of your pages are performing well for you. Okay, let's go to step 2. Let's talk about search engines. Here's 6 techniques that will help you get rankings for your website. The first thing is you have to do keyword research. These are 2 great tools. SearchStat has a free version. It's limited, but it's a great way to start looking at the types of keywords you should be putting into a keyword list, which you then insert into your content. Your web developer will put it into the meta tags, into the header tags, and into the image tags. And you can put content into videos, into articles, blogs, photos, and infographics. So the first thing you need is that. Okay, so the second step in our SEO audit is creating content. And it used to be that you'd have to create 500-word articles for your blog. But now we prefer that you choose what we call topical articles, not Me Too blog postings. Here's an example of a different type of content that you can create, which is called an infographic. So it's also content, but the idea of an infographic is you're taking statistical data, you're making it look very interesting, and it helps people to see this kind of data, and therefore they'd like to share it. And if people start sharing your infographics, it helps you to get links back to your website. Let's go to step 3. Let's try that again. Okay. Another type of content that you can write, which is still part of writing long-form content, is to write your content in order to get into the Google answer box. So for example, if you're writing an article for a weight loss website and you write about how can I stop overeating, and you're trying to address the question of how someone can stop overeating, so you're writing an article that says, hey, here's 23 simple things you can do to stop overeating. And if you write a list type of article and you write it in a question and answer format, you have a high chance to get inside what's called the Google answer box. Okay, number 3 is your page speed. Here's a tool that's totally free. It's called gtmetrics.com. If you go there and you type in your website address, it usually takes a couple of minutes and it will perform a speed test. And then you'll see, right, I highlighted the actual score of a website, but if you go right below that arrow, you'll see there's all these tabs called page speed and why slow, and below those, they actually tell you the things you need to do in order to speed up your website. So gtmetrics.com is probably one of the most important tests that you can get, and we're giving it to you totally free. Let's go to step 4. Step 4 is totally technical. It's on the other side of the spectrum. You need to go to your website developer, and you need to say to your developer, get me some schema. And here's an example of what schema architecture looks like behind the scenes. For an attorney, for example, it shows that the name of the website, where they're located. it has their phone number, it has a lot of different fields, and it is categorized. There are schema templates for different markets. So attorney is one of them, a jewelry store or an e-commerce store can be another, and a healthcare facility may be one as well. So here is a free tool called the Google Structured Data Testing Tool. And if you use that tool, you can see if your website has schema architecture. If you're using WordPress, there are schema plugins that you can get that make the embedding of the schema architecture much easier to do. This is like super important. If you go to Google and you look at a search results listing and you see websites that have stars underneath, that's because of schema architecture as an example. Okay, number 5. In a quick review of how you get search engine rankings, you have to have content, you have to have the technical coding in your website, and the third thing you need are backlinks. If you're a local healthcare facility and your business is relevant to where you are geographically, then you need to have directories that link to your website, and you also need directories that list the physical address of your business. So here is a website called Ascend Healthcare for a rehab facility in Encino, and you'll see that I've listed below the types of websites this Ascend Healthcare can get listed on. A shortcut to the whole process of getting listed of their physical address in Encino is to use a service like yext.com or Moz, which is moz.com, that helps you to facilitate the process of getting listed on dozens of directories at one time. So that's super important, and that's kind of a shortcut process. The last thing that you can do is to ensure 2 things on your website. One, that your website is secure and that it's running on it with an SSL certificate. They usually cost about $99 to get, and that enables your website to encrypt all the data, and you'll know a website is secure if you see a lock in the corner and if the website address starts with HTTPS. The second thing you need to do is to make sure that your website, it works on a mobile phone. And I don't mean that it just comes up. I mean that it looks like it was designed for a mobile phone. More than half of the people who surf the web for certain industries will do it on a phone. Healthcare is probably one of those examples where people use their phone before they use a computer because they're out and about somewhere and they meet somebody who says, oh, you need to call this doctor or check out this facility, and they do it right on their phone. So these are the 6 steps that you need to take in order to optimize your website. I just want to finish this section by saying that some of these are easy things to do and some of these are hard. There are actually 243 steps that we go through when we audit a website. So one of the things we recommend to anybody that we talk to, if search engines are something that you intend to take seriously, the first thing you should really do is provide or is allocate a budget to do a legitimately complete audit of your website. That includes auditing the technology, the coding, the keyword placements, the backlink profile, and all the other tests that make up our 243 tests. Step number 3 in our presentation is all about your reputation. So for your reputation, I'm going to cover 6 areas that talk about how you can promote yourself with class and style. So the first thing, quite simply, since you're in a service business in healthcare, is actually go to LinkedIn and fill out your profile. Get a nice cover picture for yourself, and then get a picture of your facility, of the team at your facility, something that you replace the default LinkedIn profile image, and then spend a little bit of time writing up a description that addresses who you are, what the services are, how long you've been in business, why people should come to you for whatever treatment you're providing, and the types of people that you're looking to attract. It's kind of like the 5 W's. So the first thing you want to do is optimize your profile, because specifically in a service business, people look you up. The second thing is within LinkedIn, beyond the profile, you can extend your visibility by publishing recommendations from people in your profile, from inviting people to make recommendations and to rate you for different categories. These all give you credibility, which is what this is all about. If you've joined clubs, won awards, volunteered, if you're part of any organization, we call this the back of the card. Put that into your LinkedIn profile. And then the last thing is figure out who you want to reach, which means you have to build your network. And that's a whole other business, but you can start simply by connecting with people that are within 1 degree of separation from you. And even you can look at groups that are relevant to your healthcare practice, and perhaps join groups that maybe there's a group of office managers that get together locally in the city that you're in, and they try to share ideas on how to promote the medical practice. Number 3 is a way of taking content that you utilize for other marketing and then sharing it online. So if you wrote a blog because you hope to get it ranked, take that blog and syndicate it. Put it into your social media profile, like your Facebook or LinkedIn profile. Take the blog that you wrote and make a video of you reading the blog. Try to do it with a little bit more emphasis than just reading it plainly, and turn that into a video and post it on your YouTube channel. One thing that's interesting is that 65% of people at work watch videos with no sound on. So if you create a video, make sure that you put captions into the video so that people can quickly scan through the video if they don't want to watch the whole thing. Again, we talked about question and answer format for the blogs. You can do the same thing inside your social media content sharing approach. Okay, number 4 is, in line with this idea of creating content, you want to get involved in online conversations that are happening that are relevant to you. So one of the things you can do is you can join Facebook and LinkedIn and find groups that are already existing and start contributing to the groups and position yourself as an authority. And one of the quickest things you can do is share visual content that invites engagement, gets followers, and just gets you in the face of the people that you're trying to engage. Here you'll see again Ascend Healthcare. It's a good friend of mine, so why not give him some free publicity? And he's got his head of marketing posting things online, wearing big hats with the name Ascend. He's got the brand name going. You got to do simple things like this in order to grow your reach. Number 5 is contacting people that have their own websites or their own social media followings and ask them if you can write an article that they will post on their own website. So here's an example of advice that you can give to elderly relatives to age with dignity. It's written by a law firm that does elder care, and they're getting this article published on a site called Millennial. The important part of that is, 1, they can get traffic to their website, and 2, they're getting a link on the article pointing back to the website, which is also good for search engines. And ultimately, this establishes this law firm as somebody who's kind of an authority figure when it comes to the elderly and aging. The last thing you can do, which is a bit more money, it's not free like the other things, is you can simply advertise. You can build profiles of people you're trying to target. I included a sample targeting at the bottom here based on income levels, English language filtering. They happen to like Toyotas. You can do different types of targeting in order to build a profile and reach out to them with advertising. You can advertise based on location, based on income, interests, passions, and your goal is to create, and I included an ad here showing a picture of a Toyota where maybe there was a defect on the car and a law firm is trying to attract people to know what their rights are in case something is wrong with the car. So a visual ad is certainly better than plain text. And with social advertising, you can grow your engagement, you can grow your followers, and you can simply just share your brand beyond just what you can do with blog posting and content publishing. So to put it all together, really it's about making a change from your current habit, and that habit could be doing nothing. It could be doing something and just not doing it right, or not doing enough of it, or it could be working with a company that isn't doing what you need them to be doing. So you just have to make the choice if you're ready to make the change. And I hope that this presentation gave you 18 different ways that you can grow your brand online. Thank you again. My name is Jason Ciment. My company is called Get Visible. We build websites, we drive traffic, and we grow your leads and sales. Have a great day.